What if the biggest problem in leadership isn't a lack of strategy, but a lack of humanity? Why do so many school reforms, business transformations, and leadership initiatives fail even when the plans look perfect on paper? Because improvement without trust creates resistance, and leadership without systems creates chaos. In Where the Science of Improvement Meets the Heart of Leadership, Marci Shepard reveals a powerful idea. The best leaders combine disciplined improvement systems with deep human connection. This book is especially powerful for educators, principals, school leaders, and anyone trying to build high-performing teams without losing compassion, trust, or purpose. In this video, we'll break down the science of improvement, the heart-centered side of leadership, why culture matters more than control, and how great leaders create lasting transformation. Let's begin. The big problem in modern leadership. Many leaders focus only on results. They create more policies, more meetings, more accountability systems, more pressure. But despite all this effort, performance often stays the same. Why? Because people are not machines. You cannot improve organizations by ignoring emotions, relationships, and culture. Marci Shepard argues that many systems fail because leaders try to force improvement from the top down. Instead of creating ownership, collaboration, and psychological safety, they create fear and exhaustion. The book explains that true improvement happens when leaders stop asking, "How do I control people?" and start asking, "How do I help people grow?" That shift changes everything. Because leadership is not just about systems, it's about people inside those systems. What is improvement science? One of the central ideas in this book is something called improvement science. Improvement science is a structured way of solving problems and creating continuous progress. Instead of guessing, great leaders study problems carefully, test solutions, measure results, learn from failure, and improve step by step. The process is similar to scientific experimentation. Rather than making huge changes all at once, leaders make small improvements consistently. This creates sustainable growth. A major framework discussed in improvement science is PDSA cycle. Plan, do, study, act. Here's what it means, plan. Identify a problem and design a possible solution. Do, test the solution on a small scale, study, analyze what worked and what failed, act, adjust the system and improve further, then repeat the cycle again and again. This approach removes ego from leadership. Instead of pretending to have all the answers, great leaders become learners. And that creates innovation, the heart of leadership. But Marci Shepard says something extremely important. Systems alone are not enough. You can have the best improvement strategy in the world, but if people feel unseen, unheard, or unsafe, the system collapses. That's why the second half of leadership is the heart. The heart of leadership includes empathy, trust, listening, vulnerability, emotional intelligence, and relationship building. The book emphasizes the importance of psychological safety. This means creating an environment where people feel safe to share ideas, ask questions, admit mistakes, and challenge problems honestly. When fear dominates a workplace, creativity disappears, communication weakens, and improvement stops. But when people feel respected and valued, they contribute their best ideas. Great leaders understand this. People support what they help create. Instead of forcing compliance, they build collaboration. Instead of controlling every decision, they empower teams. And instead of acting like perfect experts, they become humble facilitators of growth. Culture is the real system. One of the strongest lessons from this book is that culture beats strategy. A toxic culture can destroy even the smartest plan. You can introduce new technology, new curriculum, new goals, or new policies, but if trust is broken, improvement will fail. Marci Shepard explains that culture is shaped by daily behaviors, communication patterns, leadership consistency, and emotional climate. In other words, people don't just remember what leaders say. They remember how leaders react under pressure, how they treat others, and whether they genuinely care. Strong cultures are built through transparency, accountability, respect, and shared purpose. The book also warns leaders about the danger of initiative overload. Many organizations constantly launch new programs, new priorities, and endless changes without giving people time to adapt. This creates burnout. Effective leaders simplify. They focus on clarity, alignment, and sustainable progress. Because improvement is not about moving faster, it's about moving smarter. Equity-focused leadership. Another major theme in this book is equity. Marci Shepard argues that improvement should benefit everyone, not just the highest performers. Great leaders ask, who is being left behind? Who does not feel heard? Which systems create barriers? Are opportunities truly accessible to everyone? Equity-focused leadership requires courage. Because leaders must examine uncomfortable truths about bias, inequality, and systemic challenges. But the goal is not blame. The goal is improvement. The book encourages leaders to listen deeply, gather multiple perspectives, and build inclusive systems where every person can succeed. This is especially powerful in schools. Students thrive when educators create environments built on dignity, belonging, and support, and the same principle applies in business and organizations too. People perform better when they feel valued. Final lessons from the book. So what are the biggest takeaways from this book? 1. Leadership is both science and heart. You need systems and humanity. 2. Continuous improvement beats dramatic change. Small, consistent progress creates lasting transformation. 3. Culture determines success. Trust and psychological safety are essential. 4. Great leaders are learners. They test, adapt, and improve instead of pretending to know everything. 5. People matter more than processes. Systems exist to serve humans, not the other way around. This book reminds us that leadership is not about power. It's about creating environments where people can thrive. And in a world filled with pressure, burnout, and constant change, that kind of leadership has never been more important. If you enjoyed this summary of Where the Science of Improvement Meets the Heart of Leadership by Marci Shepard, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with educators, leaders, and anyone passionate about building stronger teams and organizations. And remember, the best leaders don't choose between results and compassion. They combine both. Because lasting improvement happens when the science of systems meets the heart of people. Thanks for watching.